Latin from scratch, we got to the last class of the fundamental theory of the course, which is the imperative mood and other ways to express command, orders, prohibition, etc. Okay, so we'll study mostly the imperative mood, which in Latin has two tenses and two voices. So it's already like, come on again, no? And the most important ways to express command, prohibition, etc. So here we see that we have kind of a lot of things. So let's start first with the, of course, first the imperative mood. We said that we have two tenses, present and future, and then two voices, active and passive. Quite obvious. And then other ways which are not the imperative mood, but express pretty much the same thing. Okay, so first, the imperative mood itself. The imperative mood in Latin has two tenses, present and future, each of them in the active and in the passive voice. First, present, active. The present tense in the active voice of the imperative mood is definitely the most frequent one. That's, from, for example, in Spanish, Italian, French, etc., the imperative, which in the Romance languages, there is only one imperative, okay? Just like in English, there is only one imperative. So the imperative in the Romance languages, Spanish, Italian, etc., comes from this one. No surprise, because this is the most common one in Latin, okay? It only has a second person singular and plural, like we can expect. Its morphology is quite simple. The singular has the raw present stem, okay? So present stem, because we're in the present imperative, so present stem, that is, without any ending or morpheme. So for example, we know how to get the present stem, no? So from amo, we have ama, and that's it. Like you, singular, you love. Moneo, mone. That's it. Okay, so just the raw present stem, without endings, without morphemes, nothing. However, some verbs in the third and mixed conjugations do have the ending e. For example, mitte, cape. Now, how do we know? These are just like, we can call them exceptions, so we have to be learning each of them by heart. So there is no rules, really. Then, the plural is formed in the following way. Present stem, then linking vowel, short e, third conjugation only, and then the ending te. So, for example, we would have, from amo, we would have amate. From moneo, we would have monete. And from duco, we would have ducite. Okay, so we see always te, te, te. So this is like you guys, like you plural, you love. Okay, you thrive, whatever. Then, present passive. In the passive voice, we also have second persons only. So, we have, again, present stem, then linking vowel only in the third conjugation. Now, in the singular, we have the short e, and in the plural, we have a short e. And then the endings. In the singular, we have re, and in the plural, we have mini. Okay, so, and of course, these should ring a bell, because these are pretty much the ones that we have in the passive voice, like normal passive voice endings. Some examples would be, from amo, it would be amare and amamini. Notice that this e is short, so the accent goes in the previous, no? Amamini. From moneo, we have monere and monemini. Duco, ducere, ducimini. So the second person singular looks like the present infinitive, like it can look like, it looks like the present infinitive, okay? Notice, however, that, for example, here in the present infinitive would be monere, because this e is long in the present infinitive, whereas here this e is short because it's this, okay? So it's monere. But, just from here, we don't know, okay? Another passive second, etc., whereas the plural may look like the second person plural of the passive present indicative, which we already know. Okay, so that's it. Then the future active. This tense does not exist in English, even in Romance languages. Like, there is no future active. Future in general, because it wasn't used much in Latin itself. The theory says, like, this is what you find in grammars, but this is like The theory says that it is specialized in clear references to the future, usually with some adverb or phrase of time which indicates that it refers to the future, or in laws, since they are, laws are an order not only immediate, like you have to do something right now, but laws is like now and in the next years, centuries, whatever, no? The verbs, this is information. Now this is different information. The verbs memini and skio regularly employ the future imperative instead of the present. So these verbs don't have themselves, or don't usually have themselves, a present imperative. So there is only the future imperative, even if it doesn't mean this. It means just like normal imperative, but they only have future imperative. The verb habeo uses it frequently. Okay, so also the verb habeo can have like the present imperative, but also quite often it will appear as future imperative. Okay, then the future imperative has second persons but also third. Its morphology is as follows. Present stem. Future, it has the present stem, as we know, no? So present stem, then linking vowel, all singular, is short e, third conjugation only, second plural, also short e, third conjugation only, and third person plural, short u, third, mixed, and fourth conjugations. And then the endings, all singular, is to, second plural, tote, and third plural, to. So here we have a few examples, like again, the same verbs. Amato, amato, amatote, amanto. Moneto, moneto, monetote, monento. And here we have ducito, ducito, ducitote, ducunto. So here, this is a third conjugation verb. So here we see like all these third conjugation only things. Last, future passive. In the passive voice, there is no second person plural, surprisingly. It is formed in the following way. First, the present stem as usual, linking vowel, singular, e, third conjugation only, plural, short u, third, mixed, and fourth conjugation, and the ending is in the singular we have tor, and in the plural we have tor. So that's it. This is like, doesn't make any sense to keep repeating these things anymore, no? Okay, now, maybe more important than the previous things like future, no? Other ways to express command, prohibition, etc. Apart from the imperative mood itself, Latin can express similar notions in other ways. Let's see the most common ones. First, the exhortative subjunctive, used for the first person plural, we. It's the equivalent to the English let's do something, let's go, let's eat, whatever. In Latin, we have the first person plural of the present subjunctive, just like first person plural of the present subjunctive that works as let's whatever in English. It is a proposal, a command, or a prohibition addressed to several people, addressed to several people in which the speaker is included. So here we have aqua calet eamus in intro ut laues. The water is warm, let's go, no? Eamus, let's go inside, so you bathe. Okay. Then, negative commands. Negative commands, prohibitions, etc. are frequently expressed with the imperative of nolo, noli, nolite, okay? Followed by the main verb in the infinitive. So, for example, here we have noli hic manere. So we see the corresponding person of nolo, noli, or nolite. So, noli and the infinitive. So, don't stay here. Quite simple. Then, the same can be achieved with the perfect subjunctive negated by ne. So this is exactly the same translation, don't stay here, which is like perfect subjunctive negated by ne. So ne hic manse. And the last thing that we are going to see, the future for imperative, that is the future instead of the imperative. For commands, both positive and negative, the plain future indicative can appear. If it is negative, the negation is just non, not ne, like here it is ne, no, here it's just non, okay? So here we have a couple of examples. Sex diebus operaberis, for 6 days you shall work, you will work, okay? Then, non concupisces domum proximi tui nec desiderabis uxorem eius. So you shall not yearn for your neighbor's house, nor desire his wife. So you see that it's just like, like the future can be just like a kind of strong order. Or like you will not, you shall not. Or also in the positive, you will, you shall do whatever I say. Okay? So that's it. This is the last theory, like the fundamental theory, the fundamental grammar in the course. With this, we pretty much know a lot. We know a lot of Latin with this. With this, we can already kind of face any text, of course. The thing is not about just knowing the theory, just knowing the grammar. Like that's like maybe like, I don't know, 25, 30% of the whole thing. Then the remaining 70% is knowing the vocabulary and, of course, practicing a lot. And not only with the text that we see here in the course, but also with more text, like many thousands of hours of practicing with text. But for now, let's go to the main page of the module and let's practice.